News coming in right now. Israeli Defense Forces say they've killed 2 more senior Hamas commanders in Gaza, among dozens of other targets that have been struck in the Strip over the past day. According to IDF, Mohammed Abdullah, who's the head of the anti-tank guided missile array of the Gaza City Brigade, and Akram Hijazi, a Hamas Naval Forces commander, were targeted and killed. That's the latest that's coming in from Gaza. My colleague Gaurav Sawant is joining us live from Tel Aviv in Israel. Gaurav, what more can you tell us about these Hamas terrorists who've been neutralized by the IDF?
Israel is going in for targeted strikes against the top leadership of this terrorist organization called Hamas, and Israel has actually put out a list of all the terrorists it's trying to neutralize. Amongst them, the top political leadership, the top military leadership, and the financial leadership, and also those locations where Hamas either manufactures or stores weapons, rockets, anti-tank missiles, RPGs, and small arms ammunition. So all of those are systematically being mapped, and then the F-16 and F-15 fighter jets, the Heron long-endurance TP drones, the Heron TPs, they are being used to paint a target on these locations, and then the fighter jets take them out. Some locations are also being targeted using PGMs or precision-guided munition fire off the 155mm howitzers. Now, according to the IDF, the head of Hamas unit's anti-tank system has been killed. Mohammed Abdullah has been killed, as has the head of the naval forces. Now, remember, when Hamas targeted Israel on the 7th of October, this was a three-pronged offensive from air, land, and sea. And Israel has systematically been taking out all those leaders and facilities from where attacks have been launched. And all of that is also being recorded on cameras.
Right, so all of that is also being recorded on cameras. Gaurav, what more can you tell us about that impending ground offensive that Israel has been planning? It has its troop, it has its equipment, all down to tanks right at the border with the Gaza Strip.
So when I spoke to the Israeli army officers, IDF officers right at the front lines, barely a couple of kilometers from the Gaza Strip, they said they are locked and loaded. They are ready to mount the offensive. Their main ammunition, their second line, 3.5 lakh soldiers on standby on both the borders. So they're waiting for the political instructions to go in. But when you talk to them in detail and off camera, the aim is to ensure when ground forces move in, they meet as little resistance as possible. And there is a lot of resistance even now in terms of Hamas fighters being armed with anti-tank guided missiles and shoulder-fired surface-to-air missiles, improvised explosive devices, their maze of tunnels that are still to be taken out. And all of that is still being done from air and artillery. So until that area is softened to reduce or neutralize resistance, as much pockets of resistance as much as possible, ground forces will not move. And that's one part of the story. The second part of the story are the 200 plus hostages that Hamas has in its custody. Israel's principal aim is to ensure that those hostages are safely repatriated with their families. And the United States of America was expected to play, or is expected to play, a very crucial role with countries like Egypt, with Jordan, with others who have considerable influence on the Hamas to ensure that these people can be brought back safely. All of that is still taking some time. That is why the ground offensive, perhaps, while they're not officially saying it's delayed, it is taking time.